Welcome to episode 3 of Bizarre Connections, the channel that seeks to connect everything and anything for no reason discernible to any human with a pulse. Last time our chain of randomness ended up with the classic 1994 Tarantino film Pulp Fiction, so that's where we'll pick up this time. Connection number 15, Banksy. Banksy is an anonymous graffiti artist from Britain who expresses complex political thoughts using spray paint, walls, and an almost pathological disregard for planning permission. If you're lucky enough to find that Banksy has been at work overnight on your property, then you might well have a wall worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. Put simply, Banksy connects to the Tarantino classic because one of his most famous daubings references the film. Banksy's Pulp Fiction is a street art masterpiece in which the two iconic hitmen from the movie swap their guns for bananas, obviously, thereby rendering fruit both threatening and politically subversive. Connection number 16, Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency, what is it? Who knows? Roughly speaking, it's what happens when economics, maths, and a mild distrust of governments are thrown into a blender powered by pure speculation. It's the greatest speculative bubble in human history and will inevitably burst, creating scenes of economic carnage not seen since the last nonsensical speculative bubble burst. Bitcoin is the daddy of crypto, and it connects to Banksy because of anonymity. No one knows who Banksy is. His artwork appears overnight, with few, if any, people ever seeing the paintings actually being produced. No footage exists of his face. Similarly, no one knows who the mysterious inventor of Bitcoin is, other than that his name is Satoshi Nakamoto, and the estimates put the value of the Bitcoin he personally controls at over $100 billion. Connection number 17, Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper was a Victorian serial killer with a fondness for fog, mystery, and leaving just enough clues to keep conspiracy theorists employed for centuries. Between August and November 1888, in the impoverished, overcrowded district of Whitechapel in East London, a still unidentified killer, later dubbed Jack the Ripper, murdered at least 5 working-class women, causing widespread public panic and exposing the severe social inequalities of Victorian London. The killer was never caught, and the case remains one of history's most infamous unsolved mysteries. The bizarre connection between Bitcoin and Jack the Ripper is infamous and enigmatic communications. On April the 23rd, 2011, Satoshi Nakamoto sent an email to a developer stating, "I've moved on to other things." Extensively involved prior to this point, this email marked the effective end of Satoshi Nakamoto's direct involvement in Bitcoin. After that, he vanished from all known communication channels. No more forum posts, no emails, nothing. In the 14 years since, the phrase has taken on an almost mythical quality. Similarly, on October the 16th, 1888, George Lusk, head of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, received an envelope inscribed "From Hell," containing a letter purportedly coming from Jack the Ripper himself. For reasons I will explain in the next connection, the letter is taken seriously by many scholars. In it, Lusk is goaded with the sentence, "Catch me when you can, Mr. Lusk." Connection number 18, Kidneys. The Ripper murders were marked by extreme violence, including the removal of organs, suggesting the killer may have had some anatomical knowledge. For this reason, the "From Hell" letter is taken seriously by many scholars and explains our connection to Jack the Ripper, because included with the "From Hell" letter was a small piece of human kidney. The writer of the letter claims to have fried up and eaten the rest of the kidney. Charming, I'm sure. Connection number 19, the Cray Twins. The Cray Twins were identical twin gangsters who made organised crime in 1960s London look like a bizarre blend of family business, fashion show, and low-level dictatorship. A pair of charming sociopaths, they brought a touch of class, violence, and deeply uncomfortable politeness to the criminal underbelly of East End London. The connection to kidneys lies with the fact that they were identical twins. Organ transplants are relatively commonplace now, but the world's first successful organ transplant was carried out in 1954 in Boston, Massachusetts by Dr. Joseph Murray. The reason that all previous organ transplants had failed was because the patient's body quickly rejected the donated organ. However, Murray operated on genetically identical twins like the Krays, but in this case one of the twins had chronic kidney disease. The fact that the twins were genetically identical ruled out the possibility of rejection of the transplanted kidney, and the operation was a success. Connection number 20, True, by Spandau Ballet. This connection is spectacularly obvious if you're a person of a certain age. The classic 1980s ballad True was released by Spandau Ballet in 1983. The band were primarily known for their immaculate hair, gold lame suits, and producing songs that sounded like a power ballad gently falling down a satin staircase. True was their masterpiece and by far their biggest hit, a slow, soulful anthem so smooth it can be best described as sonic moisturizer. The band contained brothers Gary and Martin Kemp. As well as being musicians, the Kemp boys had acting pretensions. Most famously, they played Ronnie and Reggie Kray, the Kray twins, in the 1990 film The Krays. Connection number 21, The Black Panthers. Okay, not an obvious connection, I'll give you. True by Spandau Ballet was famously sampled by American band PM Dawn in their #1 classic Set Adrift on Memory Bliss. Another famous instance of sampling from an 80s classic and a 90s #1 was when I'll Be Missing You by Puff Daddy and Faith Evans sampled the guitar riff and much else from Every Breath You Take by The Police. I'll Be Missing You is a tribute to Puff Daddy's friend, the notorious B.I.G., a hip-hop star who was gunned down and killed in a drive-by shooting. Another hip-hop legend killed in very similar circumstances just 6 months earlier was Tupac Shakur. Tupac was the son of Afeni Shakur, a famous activist and member of the Black Panther Party, a Black Power political party founded by Bobby Searle and Huey P. Newton in 1966. Afeni was one of the 13 Black Panther Party members taken to trial in New York and ultimately acquitted in 1971 of 156 terrorist conspiracy charges. My name's Spud, Sticky's mate. He's busy, so he asked me to do this. He said, can you spare a few seconds, please, to give him a like and a subscribe, because it really helps him with the channel's visibility on YouTube, whatever that means. He's told me that in episode 4, he's going to connect the Black Panthers with this lot for links 22 to 28 in this daft chain thing he's got kicking off. He said he'll see you all again in episode 4. Have a good one. Me again. One last thing. Why not join me at the beginning for link 1, Steve Jobs, on my endless chain of bizarre connections? Go on. You know you want to. Or why not view the entire playlist containing all the episodes? Also, if you could comment and subscribe, I would be eternally grateful.